Dragi Lugojeni, oameni buni, welcome to another episode of Voices from Grace podcast with your host Jake Stone. Today we're here with
Eddie.
Eddie is from class
7.
and today we're talking about relationships. Before we jump into a few questions, we're gonna rapid fire a couple questions, and then first of all we got to say what our main rule of. Do you know what the main rule of the day is? Biggest rule of the podcast. Nu avem voie să vorbim română. Acum este engleză. And okay, yes, English is what I wanted to say. This is an English-speaking podcast. Okay, so what day is it today?
Tuesday.
Today is Tuesday. If today is Tuesday, what was yesterday? No,
today's not Tuesday.
Oh my goodness!
Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Okay,
Yeah.
if today was Wednesday, what was yesterday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay, what day do most people go to church?
Sunday.
Sunday. And how many days are in the weekend?
2.
2. Awesome. Okay. Dream car. Talk to me about a dream car.
Porsche.
Porsche. I sat in a Porsche yesterday from 2005 Cayenne. Schmecker, we say, or we don't have an English word for schmecker. It was amazing. Cool. Okay. All right, so let's jump into today's topic on relationships. So let's start off with, what are some things to be mindful when it comes to relationships?
Communication is like one of the most important. Trust and love languages.
Love languages.
Yeah.
So communication, trust, and love languages. Communication, I'm glad you said communication is huge, because men, boys, girls, women, we communicate differently. And if we don't learn that at an early age, relationships become very difficult. Women communicate differently, men communicate differently. God created us that way. Trust is a big one. I don't know if we need to really speak a lot more on trust. I think people generally understand what trust is. Do you trust the person? And the last one, I'm glad you said, is love languages. We have 5 love languages, and they're basically a way that people feel loved. Everybody has a different way of feeling loved. Do you know what the 5 love languages are?
Like spending quality time with your partner.
So we have quality time.
Gifts.
Gifts, giving.
Like compliments.
Yes, words of affirmation.
Yeah. Do services.
Acts of service. I know, I'm forgetting the last one too. How terrible of me to forget the last one. Quality time.
Hugs and kissing.
Oh, physical touch.
Yeah.
Not that kind of physical touch though. This is more of like when children run up to you and they want to be hugged, or hand holding.
To feel safe.
To feel safe. It's not we're not necessarily talking physical intimacy, even though that can be a part of it.
Yeah.
So we're talking relationships. Now let's talk about dating. From your perspective or opinion, what is the point of dating?
Like to see if your partner is compatible with you for marriage.
Amazing. I think we lose that in this stage and age, which we talked about earlier a little bit, is that a lot of people, including my generation, your generation, they think dating is just for some type of gratification, whether it's emotional or physical. They don't necessarily look at it as preparation, maybe. Maybe not preparation is the right thing, but making sure, seeing if the other person is compatible, discovering. It's the fun phase of discovering if the other person is compatible enough for marriage, and in that time you may or may not fall in love with the person and decide that you want to marry them. So with that being said, how long do you think somebody should date? Let's say you get in a relationship, how long do you think you should date the person before you're ready to marry them?
First, you should be not like at 30, 14 years, because this is not a proper age for this. And you should date like at least 1 year.
Okay, so you're saying not to date if you're under 13 or 14.
Yeah, because it's like a waste of time.
Okay, and you're saying no longer than a year or less than a year?
Not less than a year.
No less than a year. Okay.
Yeah.
I would say, could I give my Dr. Phil advice? You guys know who Dr. Phil is? Do you know who Dr. Phil is?
Yeah.
Has anybody in this room heard of Dr. Phil? Nobody knows who Dr. Phil is. Okay. He's a known counselor in America, has a show, Dr. Phil, relationship counselor, a bunch of different things. Okay. My advice would be, it's not wise to date somebody until you're ready for marriage. And most people, I would say, you're not ready for marriage until you know who you are as a person, your identity in Christ, and or at least on the path towards what God has for you. And that path kind of changes. Otherwise, we waste a lot of time And then we have a whole generation now of people that are 25, 26, have no idea who they are. They wasted a bunch of years dating different girls, or they're still dating the same girl or same boy for 6 years, and it's pointless. There's nothing going on, and the relationship is super static, you know? So I think it's very important that people know who they are as a person before they even think about dating. What do you think about that?
If you want to know other, you have to know yourself before that. When you're gonna get married, you're gonna realize that the person that you were dating for 6 years, you realize that is not compatible with you for marriage.
Mm-hmm. That's a sad point. I've seen that happen for some people. Okay, so we'll move into our last part here. We'll put Eddie in the Dr. Phil chair. Give us 3 pieces of advice when it comes to relationships in general. Maybe not just dating, but relationships as a whole.
Like, first of all, talk about your problems, talk about your feelings. Like, first of all, communication. You know, this is just kind of the most important thing you're gonna get in a relationship. Then talk about your expectations and what you want to do your partner.
Expectations,
yeah, right? And don't get in a relationship just for fun, because this is a serious thing. It's not like a joke. And yeah,
I like that you brought up that actually a serious thing and it's a joke, because in life when we treat things like children, we get childish consequences.
yeah.
And that's basically everything from driving a car to relationships. It's not a game. Life isn't a game. Some people think it's a game because of the social media, the TV, the phones, the distractions. But when we look at relationships as children, we definitely get childish consequences. All right, so wrapping up this podcast, let's go through a couple things that we talked about. So first, we talked about mindfulness in relationships. We talked about trust, communication, and the love languages, which are super important. Then we went into a little bit of a dating advice. When should you date? What's the purpose of dating? How long should you date? And then we got some amazing advice from the doctor over here that maybe one day he might become a doctor. You never know. My conclusion would be this. Relationships are serious. Don't treat them like a child. We get childish consequences. And the love languages are huge, not just for relationships with the opposite sex, but if your understanding of how the love languages work will positively affect every single relationship that you have individually with everyone around you. Thanks for watching this episode of Voices from Grace podcast. We'll catch you on the next one. And thank you, Eddie, for being here. We got to get him out of his favorite class, chemistry.
Yeah.
It's favorite class, right?
Yeah.
It's not your favorite class, you're lying.
No, it's my favorite.
You said earlier it wasn't your favorite class.
Chemistry.
Oh, Kim it. Okay. We'll catch you guys on the next episode. Peace.